Welcome to the one-page web builder, basics of editing your Squarespace account. You have picked Squarespace because it's a user-friendly platform for creating and editing one-page websites. Today, I'm going to walk you through the 5 steps to make changes to your site efficiently. Step 1 is to log into your Squarespace account. And then once you're there, you click on the web page, you'll see the image, and you click Go to Web Page, and there it is. You can see that that's the basic site that we're looking to do some editing on. But first, let's look at this side panel. Over here you see what's called a setup guide. Over here what you see is what's called a setup guide. Over here you see where you can access your pages. You can change the basic styles of the web page, and you can see all the assets and a whole bunch of other things that you don't really need to know about right now and that we're not going to cover in this video. The basic editing of all the pages happens right there. So once you click on pages, what you see is home. You see under main navigation, home, that's the site that I've just started building. And on not linked, this is where anything under not linked doesn't show up when someone goes to your web page, although it might be a place where you house a registration form like I've built here, or other things that you just don't want the public to see, but it's there, and this is where you do most of the building once the site is active. Until the site's active, no one can see anything except who you give access to. This is also where you build new pages if you need to. You would click on that plus sign, and then you have the ability to pick a blank page or different page layouts or a scheduling thing, or these are the various pages that you could build. I generally start with a blank page, but if we click on page layouts, here's where you get to see different things that the page could be. If you want to build an about page, there's all these little templates that you could pick. So for instance, if we just pick a blank page, right, here's the new page, and it's blank. You see it says empty page. And how you get it not to be an empty page is you click on edit and you click on add a section. And in that section, I generally also use it as a blank page. And then how you add and subtract things from here, they're called blocks. And they're like building blocks. So like I could put a text box in there, and here's the box here. And if I want to write something in there, it's just like, this is my second page, right? And then I can choose what I want that to be. Let's say I want it to be a heading, and I can make it bigger, and I can go in and edit. This is some of the editing things I'll show you in just a moment. So now this is, then you save it. Okay, and then you exit, which should take you back to the pages thing. So now I have a new page. The other thing you have to do once you create a new page is you have to give it a name, right? And so I'll say my second page, or whatever it is. It might be an about, it might be any number of things. You can give it a navigation name, you give it a new slug. This would be whatever you want to call it, about, let's call it that. That's how you would find it. You're making changes, you're naming the page, right? And it's in the non-link part. Anyway, we're going to get into the editing part right now that you understand how to get there. Now let's have a look at step 2. Once you're inside the dashboard, you click on Edit Site. So now we're going to go to Home again, right? And we want to edit this page. Once inside, you now can see that little blocks, little blue outlines happen around the various pieces of this page that you can edit. So to edit an element, you basically hover over it. So let's say the title here. So and then you click on it. And when you click on it, then you'll see this little menu bar that comes up here. This is for actually editing the text. This is if you want to change the background. This is if you want to move things up or down, pinning it like to the top of the page. This is if you want to duplicate it. Lots of times I'll have something that I've written text in, and I want to put like text under each of these boxes, and I'll just duplicate that heading, and then I can just change the wording, or I can duplicate this amount of text and put a new text box here, or it duplicates it, I can move it over. I'll show you in a second. So first of all, we clicked on here, we're going to edit the text. Now in the text editing, I've got different options for what I want that text to look like. Heading 1, heading 2 is a little smaller, heading 3 is even a little smaller, heading 4 is the smallest, paragraph 1. What's important here, and this is for potentially for SEO and also for the design look, is headings 1, 2, and 3 are what get recognized. So it's the words that are in the headings that are important, especially in the words in heading 1. So here I want to change that text, so I can highlight the whole text and I can write autobiography workshops, and I want that to all be one line. The interesting thing about Squarespace now is it's all based on a floating kind of grid system. You see all those little boxes? You can move the text around and it will it will align itself with whatever the boxes are. So now you see that somehow we've moved this around for some reason. So we want to move this down to the same level that is. We want to move that text down to the same level that is. We want to move that photo down to there. If I want to change one word and I want to make it bold, I can make it bold. Same as what you use for most Word programs. Italics. I can change the color of the text. These are the palette, the colors that I've selected for this site. It will be for whatever it is for you, but you can also make things any color you want, independent of what it is site-wide. Okay, so let's just move that back to black. So that's how you edit text. Now, how you edit images, it will ask me, it will give me the same thing here. So now the editing button for images. So now I have the ability to replace this image, or I can edit it. Let's say I want a different image there. I can upload a file from my computer. I can select from the library of things that I've added in, or I can browse stock images. So let's browse the basic stock images that are part of Squarespace has for you to use. And let's take that one, looks really interesting. You click on the image, you add it. It will be loading in here, and there it is. Just like that. So that's how I add stuff. You add anything to any page, any part of a page, by adding a block. So now I'm in this section. I'm in a new section now, and we'll talk about sections in a minute. But if I want to add a block into here, I can add a block. Let's say I want to make a button here. I go click on button, right? That's just what it says right now. I'm going to edit this button, and I'm going to say, work with me. And then that will change, right? And so if I want to make it link to something, it could link to another part of the page, or it could link to a different page, like that registration form that I created but is not on the regular visible page, and also you can change the look of these different buttons. So for now, let's just leave it as the primary button. You can link to a different page, or you can also link to a file that's on your computer, or email, or phone. So now to view the page, to preview the page, first of all, let's say we save this. And we exit. Then you'll see this little bar up here where I can preview the page. And now what happens when I click here? It takes me so that someone can send an email to me. And to get back into the editing mode, I just click there. Let's look at how the pages are built. So they're built in sections. So we go to click edit again. Now we can see, so each one of these wide areas that have a big blue box around them are individual sections. Right? This is a section. This is one giant section for what looks like the work we do. This would be like an About Us section. This would be some, whatever section you want it to be. If we want to add a new section to our page, let's say we want to add it right up here between here and here. And we want to add an About page here for us. Okay, so I click on Add Section, which will take us to a box here, and we say, let's say About. And now this will give us various pre-made templates for what could be on an About page. See all the various looks. So let's say we want this. So we click that, and now you see is that page there. So I know that I want to have text, and I want to have a picture, and I want to have a little headline like that. And that's why I picked that section. Now, when you're in a section, you can also edit it. So here we get to edit the section, and we see something that says row count. That's for all the rows of little boxes. Right? That's how wide a section is. And then this is the place where you can change the gap between the sections, right? You can make the gap. See the lines, the boxes are getting further apart. This changes when you want to make fine tuning to the adjustments. You can also make it fill the screen. And if you want, also you can add a divider to the bottom of this section. It visually breaks up the sections. If we want to make this section deeper, we need to add more rows. And over here, you just click on this, toggle this, and it won't go any less than 22, but it will go more than however many rows you need. And now I have more space down here to add other things. So that's editing the section. I can also go type in a number that I want. Okay. This is also duplicating sections, or now I can get a section to move up or down. Now I move that down. It's no longer in second place. It's in third place. And I can move it, the next one, but I can move it again. Right. Down one more. So I can move this up or down depending upon where I want it to be. Now, once you've changed things, you want to just keep in mind that you need to save your work. So I've clicked that, and you need to save it in order to see it again. So that's sections. The next thing, step 5, is to to create custom design elements. So in backgrounds, you can customize each section background by clicking on Edit Section. And then you see the different things you can edit here. You can change the background, you can add an image, and you can also change the colors. So now this is a color palette that I've got for this site, and if I want to change that section, I can change it by doing that. Let's go to this section here. Let me save, exit, go back into it again. Okay. Oh, see, I've changed that. That's why that bright yellow background showed up. Let's see, this is easier over here because there's a white background. If I change the layout, I want it to be basically black with yellow writing, or yellow with black writing, or that dark charcoal gray with white writing, or very black, the darkest. So you'll see that these are part of what the template is, or the color scheme that you've picked for your site. So let's go back to light, and you can start seeing how does the text show up with whatever the background colors are. I'm going to add a new section here, and I'm going to add a blank section. So now here's the new section. Before I add any blocks into it, I want to edit the section. It defaults to that. Here's where I can actually add an image. Click on here. Again, the same way you change an image, you can upload it from your computer. You can select from the library. What's in the library here? No, just these two pictures. Let's just add that one. The library is just what I've uploaded or used already. And so now what you see is that picture scrolling across that whole section. So now if I'm going to add text into it, there's the text box. I write new section, give it a heading. Let's say it's heading 1, and then there it is. And I can also move that anywhere I want in that picture. And let's save that. And we exit. So that's how you change the pictures and the background colors. So now let's talk about the navigation. And the navigation is what's in the header here. So in this case, I have just a home page here because that's all I have is the home page. If I want to change that, if I want to add something, say I want more than one page, because you can easily add more than one page to this. If I wanted to add more than one page, I would just leave that the way it is because that's what's here. So let's say I wanted to move this registration page and have it be on the header. That's this page here. That doesn't really have anything on it yet, but let me scroll it up till I get up to there. And now you'll see that says the banner up here says home and registration. So now the last thing you want to look at is looking to see what this looks like on different in different views. There's a desktop view up here, and there's a mobile view. And so the mobile view is that, right? That picture. There's that yellow background that I put in there that I don't like anymore. And you can edit in this mobile view as well. So now, edit section, and I want to make that. I don't want that bright yellow color. I press save, and now this is how it's going to look on here. So now I see this, who we are. This is all of a sudden on 2 lines, and I want it to just be on 1 line. So I actually click over there, press return, just like you would normally do stuff on a page. I can now change the style, and the tools that then in this mode come up here. And I really want it to be centered. So now it's centered. but it doesn't quite look centered to me. So then I can shift it around ever so little like that. I can also make this picture smaller in this section. Now editing, any of the editing that I do here, so let's say I click save. Once I go back to desktop view, this should be exactly the way I had left it. It doesn't, if any editing I do in mobile view doesn't change the layout in this view. I'm not seeing the color that I want from that, so I may want to have it a little brighter color. Change the color, let's make it that. So now that color of that text, now it stands out better. So now you've learned how to edit the text and photos. You've learned how to navigate around. You've learned how to add a section. Let's just delete a section now. That's the last part of the section work. So I want to delete this section. Let's look at deleting the section. So now, where I got to edit a section, I can also remove it. So I want to get rid of that section, and it's gone. So that's pretty much it for editing sites in Squarespace. There's so much more, but that's enough to get you started. So I hope you liked this video, and if you want more information, just click on the link below the video and you can send me a direct message at Instagram or head back to the One Page Web Builder webpage and you can reach out to me that way. Thank you for your time.